Hi, this is Manish Jain, your career coach, and in today's video, we'll look at how to make an ATS resume or the best format for an ATS resume. So, we look at a resume which I done recently for a CEO level of a person working in a company, and I like to show you the resume how it was before. So before he was using some format which is normally available on Naukri or such other services. This was the latex resume, and you could see here he was using a resume format with two columns which was heavily graphic driven, and you could see the graphics here, right? And this was his CV, which was more than 2 pages, and this was pre and post this we changed the CV, and this is how we made his CV on completion. So today I will share with you what are the basic elements of an ATS resume. So the first thing is your name in capitals, and it could be followed by the title that you are working for. Say for example, he is working as a marketing manager. You could put it as a part of a title if you wish. Okay, and then we follow with the phone number and with the email ID and the LinkedIn URL. If you're not sure how to claim your vanity LinkedIn URL, if your LinkedIn URL is having some unusual numbers in the end, you can always change it and make it which is easily rememberable, and you can share it easily, right? And then we follow up with a career objective or a career summary. So a career objective, if you have something very specific to put, you put this, or else you can put a career summary, some 3 to 4 bullet points, or you can rather skip this. But please don't have a copy paste something which is available on internet regarding a career objective. So you can see in this case like before what it was, and yeah, here put a very big profile summary, and we change this to a short 4 to 5 lines career summary. So career summary or a career objective is like a spark for the resume. If the the recruiting manager may not read your complete CV. So at times they just read your career summary, which is just 4 lines, and then decide whether to go to the complete CV or not, right? So you could see here we written that a vice president with 25 years of experience leading operations, sales and marketing, and award-winning revenue generator through cost-effective solutions, and headed the pan-India operation. So you can see here we have just put all the details here, right? And so anyways, we have mentioned here what is that he's doing, vice president, right in the first word of the career summary. So very well you can skip this title on the top. Okay, so it's a choice for you. You can put in both the places or in one place, right? And then this is a very important section, the skills part. Usually most of the CVs, what do I see is they put the skills section in the end, right? But this is the most important part, and whatever the specific keywords which are there in the job description, right? So whichever job you're applying for, there will be some job description, and it will ask for some specific skills. So those skills which you are having, you need to highlight it here. So you can see we have highlighted a set of 12 skills after going through his resume, right? And this is very important part, because these are like the keywords which will match with your JD that you're applying for. The ATS will match the skills with the skills mentioned in the JD. So this is a very important part, and you should put skills in which you're really good at presently. Something which you have done 10 years back, 12 years back, which is not relevant for your job, please don't put it up here, right? And then we come straight away to the experience, nothing else. No experience summary or any such thing. We come up straight to the experience in chronological order, starting with the latest experience first. Okay, we call it as reverse chronological order, and I strongly recommend to use chronological resume instead of a functional resume, because this kind of resume highlights your experience very well. So you can see here the first company name followed by the period from when to when he has worked, and then we put down his role there. Okay, and for each experience we put maximum 5 to 6 or 7 key points, right? And a very important thing here to remember is to put your accomplishment in your experience and don't copy the job description, because every HR manager knows what is the R&R or the roles and responsibilities for a particular role. They don't want that. They want to know what is that you've achieved in your particular job, right? So when you want to show your accomplishment, we use something called as action verbs or power verbs. Like you can see here: implemented, focused, headed, scrutinized, monitor, coordinated, and so on. All right. So we use action verbs instead of just writing responsible for, which I normally see in most of the CVs, right? And then one of the important thing to put apart from action words is something called as matrices, that is figures, because when you want to show your experience, be it marketing or finance or any other role, you to always have concrete figures. So you can see here, like focused on P&L and operational responsibility to achieve annual sales from 68 crore to 90 crore, right? Reducing servicing costs from 28% to 15%. So we are highlighting the facts and figures here, which is very, very important and which brings a lot of credibility to your experience. So this way we put one by one all the experiences, the latest one first followed by others, right? And then we have a section called as awards and achievements. So if you have some major career highlights, you can put it under awards and recognitions or achievements. And one more important thing here is write the date when you achieved this and why did you achieve this particular award. So if you can see here, the first award, we have put everywhere the dates when is achieved this, March 2012. Then again here in financial year 2017-18, and everywhere if you can see, we have put what is the award and what is that he has done to achieve this award, right? We highlighted this everywhere, okay? And then once he has finished this, and if you've got some promotions, like if you're experienced from more than 10 to 15 years, and if you got promoted quickly in your particular role, you can even highlight that in the promotion section, or you can skip this, okay? And then if you have any of the key achievements you want to highlight, you can put it up here apart from your recognitions there on top. And then one more thing what we put usually is if you've done a lot of training and certification, that could be part of your resume. Certification and training you can mention, and one by one you can mention all the training that you have done, like project management, Six Sigma, or any other such training. And one more important thing which people generally skip is to include your voluntary services for any social organization, be like Rotary, Roundtable, or if you're part of any public speaking club like Toastmasters, you can mention all these things, because organizations love to know what you do apart from your work and how do you contribute as a citizen of the country for the nation development, okay? And then in the end you put your education, and if languages are important, just write languages what you know. And if you want to mention some hobbies, mention hobbies which are relevant to your work profile. Say for example, like blogging, if you do blogging related to your work, you can write blogging. Or if you're a YouTuber and you make videos on a particular niche, you can write that you are a YouTuber, okay? So put experience which is relevant. Don't put like watching cricket or such thing like that, which is not relevant, okay? And don't put your addresses, are not required, because nobody gonna send you anything by post, right? So at the max we mention the phone numbers, email ID, and your LinkedIn URL. And don't worry about the photo, because the ATS doesn't see a photo, it doesn't read a photo. So if at all, if the organization want to see a photo, they'll go to your LinkedIn profile and they will see your photo, okay? And if at all you are sending your CV by email or by handling in person for a walk-in interview, then in that case you can put a photo. Otherwise don't worry about the photo much. All right guys, so this is the CV which we generally follow, and we do get a lot of interview calls for the candidates for whom we have done this kind of CVs, guys. So in case you want this format, do ping me on the number given below, and I would love to share this format to you on the email ID, or just drop in an email ID in the comment section and I will share this CV format with you. Alright guys, thank you so much, and I see you soon with yet another helpful video. Thank you so much.